Hi, how are you? I am Brando, and this time I will tell you about the verb to dedicate. If you don't know how to use it, I'll tell you how to. I'll explain to you its functions. I mean, the definition, everything. How to use it with the affirmative phrases, negative phrases, interrogative phrases, all the personal pronouns. I will start with the personal pronouns. You say, I dedicate, you dedicate, she dedicates, he dedicates, it dedicates, we dedicate, you dedicate, they dedicate. Okay? That's affirmative. Negative, you say, I don't dedicate, you don't dedicate, she doesn't dedicate, he doesn't dedicate, it doesn't dedicate, we don't dedicate, they don't dedicate, you don't dedicate. In case you want to ask a question, you have to say, do I dedicate? Do you dedicate? Does she dedicate? Does he dedicate? Does it dedicate? Do we dedicate? Do they dedicate? Do you dedicate? Okay? Here I also have a list of different definitions this verb has. First, to devote or commit something or someone to some cause. He dedicated himself to the cleanup of the river. To offer something to a person or cause as a sign of respect. I'd like to dedicate our first song to my mom. To mark the official opening of a public building or highway as a ceremony. The school dedicated the new building on Sunday. And also, it can be to set aside for a specific purpose. He dedicated the money to charity. These were the ways you use the verb to dedicate with all the personal pronouns and also the different definitions this verb has. It's very important for you to practice everything, for you to be able to use the verb in different kinds of conversations and show people that you really know how to use the language. Thank you very much. See you next time. Hola, soy Brando y en esta ocasión les voy a hablar del verbo to dedicate, dedicar. Les voy a explicar la forma en la que se utiliza este verbo con los pronombres personales y también cuáles son las diferentes definiciones que tiene este verbo, porque puede significar muchas cosas dependiendo del contexto en el que se esté hablando. Les voy a explicar todo eso para que puedan manejar este verbo de una buena forma y también puedan incrementar su vocabulario en el idioma inglés. Voy a comenzar con los pronombres personales en frases afirmativas. I dedicate, yo dedico. You dedicate, tú dedicas. She dedicates, ella dedica. He dedicates, él dedica. It dedicates, esto dedica. We dedicate, nosotros dedicamos. You dedicate, ustedes dedican. They dedicate, ellos dedican. Eso fue afirmativo. Ahora negativo, cambia un poco. Es así. I don't dedicate, yo no dedico. You don't dedicate, tú no dedicas. She doesn't dedicate, ella no dedica. He doesn't dedicate, él no dedica. It doesn't dedicate, esto no dedica. We don't dedicate, nosotros no dedicamos. You don't dedicate, ustedes no dedican. They don't dedicate, ellos no dedican. En el caso de que vayas a hacer una pregunta, tienes que decirlo de esta forma. Do I dedicate? Yo dedico. Do you dedicate? Tú dedicas. Does she dedicate? Ella dedica. Does he dedicate? Él dedica. Does it dedicate? Esto dedica. Do we dedicate? Nosotros dedicamos. Do you dedicate? Ustedes dedican. Do they dedicate? Ellos dedican. Tengo aquí también diferentes definiciones de este verbo para que puedan utilizarlo en diferentes escenarios, en diferentes tipos de contextos. Primero, to devote or commit something or someone to some cause. Comprometerse. Comprometerse a que alguien o algo se comprometa para alguna causa. He dedicated himself to the cleanup of the river. Él se dedicó se dedicó a la limpieza del río. To offer something to a person or cause as a sign of respect. A ofrecerle algo a alguien en muestra de respeto. I would like to dedicate our first song to my mom. Me gustaría dedicarle nuestra primera canción a mi mamá. To mark the official opening of a public building or highway by formal ceremonies. Marcar la apertura oficial de un edificio o una autopista como una ceremonia formal. The school dedicated the new building on Sunday. La escuela dedicó se dedicó al nuevo edificio el domingo. To set aside for a specific purpose. Poner a un lado para un propósito específico. He dedicated the money to charity. Él dedicó o separó el dinero para la caridad. Espero haya sido muy útil lo que les acabo de explicar, el uso del verbo to dedicate, dedicar, para poder utilizarlo con diferentes tipos de frases, en diferentes tipos de conversaciones, y también el uso con los pronombres personales en frases afirmativas, negativas e interrogativas. Espero les haya gustado, que haya sido muy útil. Muchas gracias, nos vemos en la próxima.